My fellow Cherokees, it's my honor and privilege to ask you to join me in welcoming our next speaker to the stage, the Principal Chief of the Cherokee Nation, Bill John Baker.
Oseo Nagata, good afternoon. This day marks the 7th time as your chief we have come together as family to discuss the state of our nation. The stories you just watched are inspiring, and they show us that the state of our nation is not about those that are on this stage. It's about the hundreds of thousands of Cherokees impacted daily by our Cherokee values and traditions. I'd like to recognize my family, my wife and best friend, the First Lady of the Cherokee Nation, Sherry Baker. My mother and mentor, Dr. Isabel Baker. My children, grandchildren, brothers, and extended family are also here. Please stand. I'm grateful for their love and support and proud that they are here today. Every year, Cherokee families gather on this day to celebrate our shared ancestors, our shared history, and our shared future. Having endured untold hardships from the Trail of Tears, where so many of our people perished, Chief John Ross sought to protect our tribe in its new homeland, promote peace, build alliances with tribal nations, and strengthen our role in America. In 1843, he oversaw an international peace council in a structure much like the one we gather under today. This new Cherokee National Peace Pavilion is a tribute to that gathering that occurred close to where we stand right now. Today, we continue to protect our tribe, build alliances, and promote peace so that our people can thrive. I am happy to tell you our Cherokee Nation is strong. But more importantly, it is getting stronger than it has ever been. Our alliances range from county governments to state government to Capitol Hill to corporate America. We are the largest tribal government in America with more than 360,000 citizens, and we're making profound improvements in the lives of Cherokees. Our nation is stronger when our citizens share in our successes. Ambitious ideas coupled with swift actions have created a sustainable change over the past 7 years and have solidified a firm foundation for our future. My goals have been to place the Cherokee Nation on the road toward financial independence and strengthen our sovereignty. We have achieved those goals. Between the Cherokee Nation government and our businesses, we have more than 11,000 employees. Over the past 7 years, our economic impact has more than doubled from just under $1 billion a year to over $2 billion this last year. That means job creation, sustainable economic growth, roads and infrastructure development, and helping businesses to expand and relocate to our 14 counties. It also means enhanced cultural programs and a willingness to work with Congress to defend our rights in court. And today, Cherokee families have unprecedented opportunities. Where the state has failed our neighbors, Cherokee Nation routinely invests in public schools, infrastructure, roads, bridges, and water lines. We provide first responder units within our 14 counties with gear and vehicles and supplies, and relief was sent to the flood victims in Houston, for the Joplin tornado survivors, and to help battle raging wildfires in California. Cherokee Nation will never leave or relocate. This is our home. Along with the other tribes in the state, we are an economic force almost as big as the oil and gas industry. Our presence is felt, our investments are paying off as unemployment rates drop, and growth is occurring all across this region. Creating good, quality jobs benefits us all. But for every Cherokee family, a new job is a godsend. And just like our neighbors, we want our kids to get an education. We want them to have good paying jobs close to home. We want them to know this: you don't have to leave Oklahoma to make a change in the world. I know Sherry and I want our kids and grandkids to know that they can make a world of difference right here at home within the 14 counties of our strong and vibrant nation. As families grow, so does the need for housing. When I was sworn in as principal chief, my goal was to start building houses again, which had not been done for a decade. We now have more than 800 Cherokee families living in safe, affordable homes. Cherokee families living on minimum wage can afford one of our 3-bedroom brick homes at $350 a month. Our housing program also creates jobs. Cherokee homes built by Cherokees in the Cherokee Nation. We're talking about hundreds of jobs for Cherokees, bricklayers and roofers and electricians and heat and air and carpet layers and backhoe operators. It goes on and on. These jobs have a multiplier effect on the local economy, as income is spent locally in small businesses on goods and services. We also help local public schools as federal impact aid dollars attach to every child living in one of these homes. It brings in $2,800 per child directly to our local school districts. Last year, we had about 400 children in our homes that impact aid was attached to. And that resulted in over $1 million in federal funding that went directly to local public schools. We are putting more dollars into the local school districts than ever before. This year, Cherokee Nation donated over $5.5 million to local school districts from the sale of our tribal car tags. We've given more than $50 million to Oklahoma schools since 2002 when we started the car tags. Investing in public education is one of the hallmarks of my life as a public servant. I went to school at NSU, Mr. President, and studied to become a public school teacher. My mother is a teacher. My father and grandparents were as well. Our funding for college-bound Cherokees has nearly doubled from $8.5 million to almost $16 million in the last 7 years. We've increased the number of yearly scholarships awarded by 43%, and every qualified Cherokee Nation student that applied has received one of our Cherokee scholarships. We funded STEM programs for Cherokee girls, for robotic teams, and trips to tournaments. We hired a mobile STEM teacher to offer specialized mentoring and tutoring programs. Last month, our partners at Google recognized the late Mary Golda Ross, a Cherokee citizen, granddaughter of Chief John Ross, and NASA aerospace engineer. For her critical role in the space race in the 1960s. We must continue STEM investments in our children so that they can have a part in mankind's next great leap forward. We also need our kids in college studying everything from law to medicine to technical skills. We are creating jobs at a record pace, and we need every skill set. Soon, we will be adding more than 800 new jobs at our new W.W. Hastings facility. Now, we know Native Americans have a lifespan 5 years less than all other races in this country. Our mortality rates from diabetes are 3 times the national average. Our people suffer from higher rates of cancer, heart disease, suicide, alcoholism, and hepatitis C. than any other population. We are more than numbers. These are our lives of our children, our parents, our wives, and our husbands. When we can step in and provide a person with diabetes the insulin they need to live a fuller life, we do it. When we can offer behavioral health support to our most vulnerable patients, we do. When we can cure hepatitis C, we do. When we can address the growing demand of health services, we do. We made an historic investment of $100 million from casino profits. We built 2 regional health centers, doubled the size of 2 centers, and now we have 8 health centers. Every Cherokee in the nation is within 30-minute drive of a modern health care center. And the crown jewel of our facilities will soon be the largest health center, tribal health center in America. When it opens next year, it will revolutionize the ability to care for our citizens. We brought an official end to the decades-old freedmen dispute and welcomed our freedmen brothers and sisters into the Cherokee Nation. We settled indirect cost payments through the Indian Health Service and filed lawsuits to defend our natural resources and trust assets and protect our families from the opioid crisis. All of this progress was made possible by working on a government-to-government basis with our state and federal partners. Our relationships in Washington, D.C. are productive and strong. Securing a joint venture that is valued at over $2 billion over the next 20 years from IHS and constructing our own state-of-the-art 469,000 square foot facility is proof. All our progress, building homes, investing in education, health care, creating jobs for our people, could all go away if we are not vigilant. That is why we must continue to educate Congress about who we are. That is why we must continue to defend our rights in the courts. That is why we must continue to be at the table at the state capitol. That is why we must continue to partner with corporate America to bring jobs into this region. That is why we must continue to work with universities to help ensure medical professionals stay right here in Tahlequah, taking care of our citizens. Friends, that is why we must never let our guard down. Sovereignty never sleeps. We must stay the course and fight for you. Fight for the future of the Cherokee Nation. 180 years ago, Chief John Ross led the tribe through the Trail of Tears to Indian Territory. Almost 50 years ago, W.W. Keeler became the first modern-day elected Cherokee chief, and he provided leadership to reconstitute this government. It was 30 years ago when Principal Chief Wilma Mankiller had a vision of economic growth and opened the door for a new era of prosperity. These chiefs did not face the same challenges we face today. They did not have the same opportunities and partnerships we have built for ourselves over time. But as leaders, each of them left an undeniable mark on our people. Throughout our history, we have faced periods of transition, and our nation has grown to greatness. How we grow from here will be determined by a series of decisions we make together. Our next generation of leaders has a unique challenge: to keep leading our people into an entirely new and modern global era while keeping our core Cherokee values and life ways intact. Our lives today are much different than those of our ancestors. We all live differently than our grandparents. Even in changing times, our Cherokee cultural traditions and ways of life must be rooted in us. My fellow Cherokees, I ask you, what will our legacy be 7 generations from now? I hope we will be remembered as the administration that set the foundation for the future, the foundation for success, that took bold steps to provide better health care and offer more education and opportunities for our Cherokee people. That we dedicated ourselves to the preservation of Cherokee traditions. That we sought new ways to advance and evolve the Cherokee language programs. That we defended our sovereignty by being at the table and in the courts and successfully negotiated with the state and federal governments. We may always carry the weight of the infamous Trail of Tears on our shoulders. But we have persevered and reshaped our path to ensure Cherokees and our government have a brighter future. We have taken control of our own destiny, and that work must continue 7 generations into the future. Our eyes are on the future, while our roots and our family tree are firmly planted in the past. God bless each and every one of you, and may God continue to bless the Cherokee Nation.